Hey friends, this is Ashley from Uncommon Roots Homestead. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to get all of the latest updates. Today, we did something, and I'm not really sure how we should feel about it. Let me show you. These boxes might be familiar to some of you. They are housing 17 baby chicks. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with that. So you might be wondering, how did we end up with 17 baby chicks? We were just talking about how we bought land, but we don't live there yet, and how we live in a neighborhood with an HOA. And yeah, those are all true things. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. So a couple months ago, we decided that we wanted to start doing a couple of things over on our land, over on our homestead, before we actually move there. There's some infrastructure that we can kind of lay the foundation for before we, have everything lined up for us to start building and to actually move to the land. So we're thinking that we're going to start building our house, probably sometime next spring. But we knew we wanted to start some things like a chicken coop and a run over on the land in the next month or two. So the plan was to order in December some chicks from Murray McMurray's hatchery. I had lined up all of these ideal breeds. We were going to have a rainbow color of eggs, and we were just going to get 12 chickens. Like, that was our max, because, you know, how many eggs do we need every day? And then Kevin went to Rural King this morning for something else, and he came home and he said, oh, they have chicks and they have some Morans or however you say it, the dark brown egg layers, and those are one of the breeds that we really wanted. And he was like, they had some of those, and I was like, you know what, let's go back. So we went back, and chicken math is real. I don't know if anyone's ever told you about chicken math, but basically that's where you go in wanting X amount of chickens, and then before you know it, that number is nowhere to be found, and somehow you end up with a whole new number of chickens. Well, that is a complete reality. As we were there picking out our 12 that we wanted, the guy who was putting them in the containers was like, oh, what about this one? What about that one? I'll give you this one at the same price. And before you knew it, we had 17. So I guess I'll show you guys what we've got, and then we're looking for some tips. What do you do? What did you do with your chickens if you had, 15 to 20 at a time, and you were gonna have them live somewhere that you didn't live? We're looking for all of the advice and tips. This was definitely something that we were planning to do. We just weren't necessarily planning to do it today. And now we have a few more friends who are gonna be, I guess, living in our garage for a little bit. So let's meet them. So the first thing that we're gonna do is set up a place for them to live for the next little while. They need to be in an area that's protected. So we're going into the fall and the winter. Now it doesn't get that cold where we are, so we're not too worried about it. We do have a heat lamp. We need to have some area around them that can be between 85 and 90 degrees. So we're gonna work on setting that up in our garage for now. And then when they get a little bit bigger, we're actually gonna move them over to the garage on the land so that we can kind of keep them all contained over there at the land. We can't actually have them here where we are outside, so we don't have the option of moving them outside, you know, at our current house. It's against the rules in our neighborhood. So what we're gonna do is get them nice and big and then move them over into their nice new coop over at the land. And then our plan is to, I guess, go there once a day. We'll probably get an electric door opener and have that let them in and out of the coop. But that's the plan as of right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get that setup ready. And then I do need to check all of these for pasty butt. So if you've never had chickens before, something that I learned, thank you Google machine, is that you need to make sure that all of their vents are nice and clean. So young chicks like this, especially when they come from a stressed environment like Rural King, where we got these ones, they tend to get a little bit of like the poop paste up on their back end, on their vent, which chickens have just one hole. So it's the vent is where they will lay eggs, and it's also where they poop. So I need to go ahead and check all of their vents, make sure they're nice and clear. That'll kill a baby chick in, you know, less than 12 hours. So we're gonna make sure they're all nice and clear, and then we'll go and check on Kevin and see what he's doing with the setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and check them all now. Okay, so I just checked all 17 and we've got 2 that don't look so great. So I'm gonna show you what they look like, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get a nice warm damp paper towel, and I'm just gonna lightly try to, sorry, he's getting my toes. Look at this. What you doing, little guy? What you doing? But I'm just gonna really lightly try to wash that off. The goal is to not get the chick too wet because you don't want their body temperature to drop. But then we also want to make sure we don't pull too much. You can't just like rip it off because that can actually disembowel them, which would be really horrendous. So my goal is to just lightly dampen that poop that's kind of closed their vent and get that open back up again. So I will show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna clean it. So this is what we're working with. I don't know if it's in the focus. So you can see it's all pasted up. So this little guy, or hopefully girl, this is supposed to be a girl, so hopefully it's a girl, but she would not live if I did not clean that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I got those 2 mostly clean. I at least got their vent cleared. It's hard because it kind of gets in their fur and they don't have feathers yet. So I left it around where I couldn't get it off easily. But now I'm gonna go ahead and disinfect the floor. You might have seen that a couple of them went to the bathroom and then I was touching them. It's really important whenever you're dealing with chicks or chickens to sanitize often because they do carry salmonella. We obviously have 2 little kids. We wanna make sure that that's not hanging around in our kitchen because this is not where they're gonna be staying. So I'm gonna go ahead and disinfect the area, and then we're gonna go outside and check on Kevin. Okay, so they're gonna be set up in here in our lovely, very clean garage. But we actually have an extra large dog crate, so we're gonna set that up. We're gonna fill it with bedding, and then Kevin's getting their food. We don't have a great water solution, which obviously is really important. So we're gonna try to figure that out. But let's go ahead and get them all set up. So before we officially sign off, I want to just explain kind of why we set this up the way we did. And then, I mean, we are totally open to being agile here. We will probably change this setup a lot of times over the next 14 to 16 weeks that these little birds have to live inside. But for now, because they're so tiny and we're keeping them in a dog crate, we lined the sides of the crate with cardboard. We have a heat lamp. Yes, we do know that heat lamps can be dangerous. We have secured it 5 times with zip ties, trying to kind of mitigate that risk. We plan to check on this very, very often. There's actually a fire alarm right above me. We know that there are a lot of risks with using a heat lamp. We're gonna try it. We might switch out to a heat pad brooder, which is a lot safer. But this is what we had for now, so that's what we're gonna use. And then we did some medium-sized pine shavings on the bottom, and they're on a starter chick feed. We chose to go with medicated because these are unvaccinated birds. So yeah, that's our setup for now. Please feel free to leave any of your comments or suggestions down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates on how we're doing with 17 birds living in our garage. Thanks so much for joining us today. Goodbye.